What's going on, everybody? This is Jabril Salam
and Muhammad Hassan,
and you are listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's get it, baby. We ain't playing games today.
Oh yeah, we starting off on fire.
Yes. And we're gonna get straight into the topic of discussion today,
which is
the Netflix show original series, The Messiah.
Nah.
We know that many people are talking. That's a good song, by the way. But yes, we're talking about the Netflix original series Messiah. They came out in the beginning of January. We're not late to the game. We've just been really busy, and it's primarily my fault. Jabril finished the show about 2-3 weeks ago, so just waiting for me to catch up.
I've recently started getting into binge watching Netflix shows, and it's amazing.
We were not like that.
I know.
I guess maybe we just didn't find the right show.
Yeah. This definitely was a good show. Yes. I liked it. I'm not gonna say it was binge worthy, but if it came out an episode a week, I think I would have been happy with that too. I think Netflix should start doing that too, like add a little suspense, like what happens.
What do you mean?
Like instead of you being able to have all 10 episodes at once.
Oh, just
like
you gotta wait
every week Netflix drops the new maybe they do that already and I just don't know.
I was gonna say they might hear this and take that idea.
Yeah, I think they should. Yeah, because binge watching is not good for you.
Right. Especially when you watch all that, you get you get real emotional. You really get into it.
My man cried during this show.
With other shows, you watch one show, but when you watch 15 to 20 episodes back to back, bro, your whole mental is just
it's a lot, bro. And you just you're in a different headspace.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So look, we're going to give our assessment and review of The Messiah, as Mo said, the Netflix series original. There was a lot of people felt very controversial about the show and had things to say about it and whether it was good or bad. I feel like most Muslims felt weird about it, but I was like, why? You guys are. This is a family podcast. You guys
yes,
are.
It is.
Yeah, I mean. I didn't think too much of the show in terms of the controversy of the show. I thought it was a good show with for my first impression. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as a viewer, and I think as a Muslim, there was a lot that I took away from it. What about you? What did you think? What were your first impressions?
I mean, going into the show and watching it, I didn't want to be a critic because I didn't want to be biased. I didn't want to be on the left. Didn't want to be on the right. Just wanted to be neutral and watch the show for what it is. And I'm glad I did that because I came out with a lot of questions, some concerns, but it'll be some of the things that we talk about. And more of the concerns are just more about just educational wise, just knowing the truth. That's what I would say. And understanding that Jabril points out, at the end of the day, it's a show.
Yeah, it's for entertainment values.
So understand that going into this is not something that was on the History Channel. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that was on CNN. It wasn't. It's a show. At the end of the day, its job is to sell and be entertaining and get viewership.
Exactly. Because if it wasn't entertaining, you wouldn't watch it. But what I will say is that going into this show, I tried to go in with an open mind because I heard some different things about it. And I tried to ignore those and just watch the show for what it was. And I'm happy I did that because I was able to take a lot of good things away. It made me question a lot of different things about, our religion and just like the Abraham religions in general. What is the last days going to be about? So if anything, I would say it brought more, it poised more questions about the end times and what is supposed to happen, rather than me closing off and saying, this is not true. I can't watch this. there were people who hit us up was like, this show is it's going to take me down the wrong path. And it's like, wow, really? That's how you feel? If that's what a show can do to you, it's going to influence you that much. I think you said that means your faith wasn't really that strong to begin with. So it kind of sucks for you.
Absolutely. All it took was 10 episodes.
I don't believe, damn, bro. So what were some of the things that stood out to you with this show? And so you guys know, there are no spoilers in this show. We'll try not to hit any crazy spoilers.
Exactly.
It's pretty obvious when you talk about Messiah, the return of Isa and, Dajjal, the Antichrist and all that. So just know it revolves around that. But I think we're not really going to put any spoilers out this. No spoilers.
No, not today. So going back to what you were saying, one thing that I did like, it gave people the incentive to go out there and research Dajjal. I'm sure there was some people that didn't know who the Dajjal was, and not only Muslims, I'm sure it was Christians and Jews, like you said, the Abrahamic religion, which I did like that. Another thing that I liked is that a lot of people in this show, there's a lot of remembrance of God in the show.
It's very God conscious show.
It's very God conscious show. So if somebody that doesn't believe in God or believes in science, who knows what that would do? That might kind of question them as well.
There's no way he could sit in a sandstorm with his eyes open. It just can't happen. It just cannot happen.
Unless he had the eyelids of a crocodile, because they have see-through eyelids. You know that, right?
Yeah. Like stuff bouncing.
So I did like that, because at the end of the day, if you watch something and, whether it's entertainment, informational, and if you have more questions, that's good, because it hit on different nerves and different pain points. Like, oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Why do that? If you're watching something and you have no questions at all, that means it was not good.
It means you didn't go in it you didn't go in it openly. You went in there very closed off about it to begin with. So
another thing that I liked is that they talked about a magician in the show, and the Dajjal, his whole goal is to deceive people,
to trick people.
You know what
sleight
I mean?
of hand.
The sleight. So I kind of, I was like, huh. So they brought like magic and everything like that. So I mean,
yeah, they. So this show, I think the biggest question at the end was: is this the Messiah? Is this Dajjal? Like, what? Who is this guy at the end of the day? Because he is a real figure, right? Like something that multiple religions believe in the end times. This figure will come back, to signify these are the end days. And it's not like the world's going to end, right? Like volcanoes aren't going to crack right then and there. It's one of the major signs of, like it's about to go down. It's about to go down.
I think the show is a really big wake up call for Christians. The reason being is that as Muslims, we know that God is not a human being. You feel me? As Christians, they believe that, Jesus, peace and praise upon him.
But that's debatable.
Okay.
That's debatable because
let me finish the point, and then you can go back to the debate.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
So Christians do believe that, because Jesus was a man, he is a man. He did walk this earth. So when the Dajjal comes, right, he's going to have one eye and see as a man and, perform miracles. And if you don't believe, if you follow his miracles and everything like that, you'll be, going down the wrong path.
Yeah, like he'll promise you a paradise that's really hell, and Muslims, paradise will feel like hell.
As Muslims, like that. If mistake me if I'm wrong, we never believed that God was going to come on earth in a human form. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like God, we never believed that God was going to come here. As Christians, they believe that Jesus will return. Do we.
But understand. This is why I had to interrupt, because that's not the consensus across Christianity. Not all Christians believe that Jesus is God. Not all Christians believe that Jesus is God. That's why I had to kind of interrupt, because I know Christians who say Jesus is God, and then others are like he's the Son of God, and that's a very big difference. That's a very big difference.
Because I have heard both. You are right about that.
You know what I'm saying? But then you have the ones that are like, well, both are right. It's like, yo, you're confused. All right. It's like, bruh, you need to either go to church or you need to go to a mosque or a synagogue. I don't know where you need to go, but you need to figure this stuff out. I've had with a lot of Christians. I find that it's very difficult that you can take, say, a handful of Christians and get them all to believe. And same thing with Muslims, right? However, the differences in the belief systems is more so with the pillars, right? Like with Muslims, we all know the 5 pillars, and that's black and white.
Yep.
But with what I found with knowing a lot of Christians, growing up around a lot of Christians, is that the underlying principles and pillars of the faith are rocky amongst Christians, because they don't. Yeah, like it doesn't matter if you see a Sunni. It doesn't matter if you meet. Oh, know what time it is. It doesn't matter if you meet a Shia Muslim. It doesn't matter if you meet Salafi, whatever type of madhab that you have. you're always going to believe in the 5 pillars. Like, it's non-negotiable.
That's a good point.
Like, those 5 pillars are always going to be the same. And with Christianity, it's different. So, not to go off on a tangent about it, it's just something, you know, we want to be very careful with when we start talking about other beliefs and religions and making that assumption without stating, like, hey.
That's good. You know, good to provide some context.
I didn't want to like take this.
Absolutely, bro.
The floor.
You needed to do that, and I'm glad you did. Because, you know, you're exactly right.
Yeah. So let me ask you then. You left off with talking about Dajjal.
Yes.
Saying that, you know, what he's described as, what he'll be by the end of the show. Do you believe that he is Dajjal or Messiah, or is it still up in the air?
I would say still up in the air.
It's crazy. It's weird, right?
It's still up in the air because, I mean, it's funny because, you know, throughout the show, people think that he is Jesus. Not everybody.
Yeah. And like you said, certain people think that he's God.
Certain people did think he was God.
That's what I'm saying. That consistency
that's a good point. So they thought it was both. But in the show, himself, the actor, he never said he was God. He actually said that God is working through me. He's working through us. You know, so that kind of I feel like that kind of throws the notion off that he's God, you know. If people believe that Jesus is God, then at that point
he didn't even say that he was a prophet. Funny enough,
that's what
he never even said he was a prophet.
He never said that, and we know that Jesus is a prophet. You know what I mean?
But he never said, "Hey, I'm a prophet." He was just like, "I'm here to work."
Yeah, that's all he said. And he had brothers. He was an orphan, so, you know, a lot of our prophets were orphans too. So that kind of was pretty consistent.
Was it some? I can't remember if it was describing the Messiah or the Dajjal, where it said that he'll be able to go from across oceans in an instant, like very, very fast. I can't remember which one it was, but that was something that happens in the show, and you're like, how?
But, you know, the whole thing, you know, Jesus walks on water, and then he did something where he walked.
He did, bro. He did walk
in front of DC.
Yo, he did walk on water. That joint was crazy.
I just thought it was interesting.
And, sorry, spoiler.
I was interesting. You know, it was really interesting that they put that in there because obviously, you know, we know that the Dajjal can be very deceiving. So that was a deceiving act, right? That's what people were thinking in the show. But people also say that Jesus walked on water too. Does that make sense? So it's like, even though he didn't say he was Jesus, the point, you know, all the arrows pointed at that. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Or that he was that he was the Messiah, right?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, it left a lot of questions that, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, it was the best show ever. I don't think it was, but I have to watch season 2 because there's so many questions that it did bring up that I need to get the answers, at least from the show.
Yes.
Now, it's definitely going to prompt me to keep doing research and things of that nature. But I liked it. One of the things that really stood out with the show was how political it was and its agenda. And it was weird because then it makes you think, like, yo, what is Netflix trying to accomplish with this show?
Yeah. Who's behind this?
Yeah, who's funding this? Who's supporting this? Because there was so many things that was, hinting towards political sides in this show.
They talked about immigration. They talked about refugees. They talked about pulling out, withdrawing soldiers all across the globe, which we've tried this year, you know. So it was
but it was more like a mass exodus, though, not just like remove them from this one place or this one place. It was like take everybody that's around the world and bring them back to your country.
I wonder if that would actually work for world peace. I mean, that had me thinking.
All right, well, let me ask you: do you think that could work to achieve world peace?
No.
The
reason why is that I've just kind of supporting the government and everything like that, kind of selling to the government what I do. I know that if the U.S. was to withdraw their troops from a certain area, another country would come in. And they need those geographical regions so they can keep eyes on other nations.
But why are they keeping eyes on other nations and not here when we have so many problems?
That's the question I ask. You feel me? But you're right, though. If they brought everybody from there and they're like, hey, guys, focus thing on here. Because what did the sheikh say inside the show? Remember when he was getting the young boy, Jibril, getting ready to go up on stage and talk about how if you, and this was also very, very political, which I love. He said, if you recognize that Israel is a state, you should also recognize that Palestine is too, right? He said it. Then he also said, you talking about the Messiah, he told me he might be fixing everything, but he said, but you're here now. focus what's on in front of you.
You got to focus now.
Focus on those problems in front of you. So like you talked about, if we did withdraw all our troops, but not just us, if everybody withdrew their troops, you know,
just
what I'm
focus
saying?
on bettering their own nations.
But then people be like, okay, corrupt leaders, and it's just a debate that I feel like can go on for a very long time.
It ain't nothing or something.
You know?
Yeah. So yeah, it was very political. I feel like it was very religiously neutral. It didn't side with one side or the other. I think people had an issue with certain ways that Islam was portrayed in it. Again, there was like a suicide bombing in there.
At least people were praying accurately. You know?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
what? Yeah, that is true.
The media is getting better understanding Muslims now. I'm just being honest with you, because at first, Muslims, I never seen a Muslim pray, but they had Muslim names. They work at gas stations. They never ever showed anybody praying.
Oh no, I thought Rami did a pretty good job of that.
I'm talking about just in the past. I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, got you.
Got you. You feel me? So even like The Simpsons, I'm sure that one guy that had, was his name Mo, that guy Mo, his friend Mo. I'm sure he was Muslim, but
we'll never know.
The world will never know.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was very religiously neutral. I think I had a lot of people that were talking about the suicide bomber, like, again, like, Muslims, that's not all we are. My only thing with it was two things. One, it's TV, right? And then two, it's not like that doesn't happen, because very recently there were some mosque bombings over in the Middle East, Southeast Asian area of the world, that like very recent. So it's not like that stuff doesn't happen. And I understand like that's not a narrative that we want to keep portraying. But you know,
same thing for Jewish people. Don't get it twisted. A lot of people, you know, look at Israel and what they've done in the past and everything. There's some Jews now, they're just like, yo, we're not about that. You know what I mean? Like, we love Palestinians. We're in it together. But it's always like when you talked about, you know, Israel, because you show what happened when they had that confrontation, when the Messiah led them, I'm sure it was in Syria, Damascus, all the way to the border.
Yeah, border of Israel.
They were not playing. They weren't even trying to feed them. You know, they basically were going to let them starve until other people came in. Not everybody in the world is cold-hearted like that. You feel me? And I don't believe it's like that. The way they talk about Muslims and bombings, it's the same thing that they do about Israel and Jews. It's very stereotypical.
You know
exactly. What I'm saying?
They're showing the extreme sides of what is happening in the world. But again, negativity is louder. You know what I'm saying? But that, even though they show those negative parts of the show, I feel like the positive aspects, like the messages that stuck the strongest, were all very positive. And I think all people of all faiths can look at that show and be like, man, that was impactful for me as a religious person, as a Muslim, as a Jew, as a Christian, as a scientist. Like, it was impactful on all sides.
Another thing, it also showed that, for me, it showed that how lost a lot of people are here. Like, a lot of people don't have faith or believe in anything. You feel me? Until they actually see something. I remember, shout out to Ash Catch. I don't know if she listened to the show at all, but I remember she said a quote. I don't know if she sent it to me or saw it online. She said, she said, there's two different type of people. There's the type of people that need to see to believe, you know? There's other type of people that they believe and then they see. You feel me? And that's legitimately what faith is, and that's what the Dajjal is gonna come and do some miraculous things, and people gonna be like, oh, okay, like, now I'm a believer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you help do this.
When he walked on water, everybody was like,
oh yeah, everybody's like, this is it, you know. But that's not how it is. That's not what faith is. You're supposed to believe, and then you'll see. You know what I'm saying? So there's blessings and you know, health, whatever it might be. We all believe it. Like, that's what a dua is. We believe in, and inshallah we get to see it. You know. That's
where faith comes in hand, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm blown that we need another co-host, because I just had like a hilarious moment
that I wouldn't get.
I was like, they were like, and I just sat there, and you sitting there talking, so you could.
Oh, I didn't get.
We need another co-host.
It was like a reference to culture.
No, it was a reference to like people still being there stuck. Like, what? Overall, man, I enjoyed the show. Yeah, we went over everything that's on the list for this review. We try to be as discreet as possible or as vague as possible, and not give you guys any spoilers. But overall, it was a good show. I highly recommend that you go and watch it. Go in there open-minded again. And make sure that you do dig a little bit and do a little bit of research.
Exactly. And I actually pulled out some hadiths myself in regards to the appearance of the Dajjal, because that's all I could really find, to be honest with you. And they did talk about the Mahdi, but like I said, I do not want to talk about things that I do not have the best understanding of. So the first hadith, all right, that's from Sahih al-Bukhari. It says, narrated Abdullah bin Umar, Allah's apostle, said, while I was sleeping, I saw myself in a dream performing tawaf around the Kaaba. Behold, I saw a reddish white man with lank hair, and water was dropping from his head. I asked, who is this? They replied, the son of Mary. Then I turned my face to see another man with a huge body, red complexion, and curly hair, and blind in one eye. His eye looked like a protruding out grape. They said to me, he is Ad-Dajjal. The prophet added, the man he resembled most in the Ketan, a man from the tribe of Khuza'ah. So right now it's just more about the appearance. Here's another hadith by al-Bukhari. Narrator Abdullah, Ad-Dajjal was mentioned in the presence of the prophet, peace and blessing be upon him. The prophet said, Allah is not hidden from you. He is not one-eyed, and pointed with his hand towards his eye, adding, while al-Masih Ad-Dajjal is blind in the right eye, and his eye looks like a protruding grape. So it does kind of provide, more.
So by that standard, I asked you if you thought it was Dajjal. You say you didn't know. By that take on his physical features, that means that this character is not Dajjal. If you made it to the end, we hit you with a little spoiler. I think it's a great show. I think you should watch it, and you let us know. Comment, shoot a DM, absolutely. Comment down on this video below what you think about the series The Messiah, and if you are excited for season 2, because I know that I am. Are you?
Yeah, I would. Hey, I would say definitely ask your parents about Dajjal, what they think about it, and I would say just learn about it. To be honest,
let's have some table side discussion.
Hey, wake up!
All right, cool. Well, Mo, how can the good people find us if they want to reach out to us?
Absolutely. If you want to reach out to us, the best way would to be shoot us a direct message, now known as the DM. Instagram, Twitter, the best place to reach us. Young and Muslim. That's YOUNG, the letter N, Muslim. Young and Muslim. And how can they listen to this podcast?
Well, you can listen on all your favorite listening platforms except for Spotify. So that means you can listen to us on SoundCloud, any of your Google listens, so like Castbox or Google Play or Google Podcasts. You can listen to us as well on Apple iTunes or Apple Podcasts, and of course YouTube, because we know a lot of you guys like to listen on YouTube. Just look up the Young and Muslim Podcast and you will find us.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes in this show, he said that, if I mistake, hope I got it right. He said, we don't work through God. God works through us. And when I saw that, I was sitting there, I was like, dang, that's how things get resolved here. That's how things happen. Like, God works through everybody in its own way, So I really did like that. And that show really, there's a lot of taqwa thrown in there, just being God conscious. You know what I mean? I don't know if they did that on purpose or if they did.
Absolutely.
So
it was nice.
Overall, it's like that was good.
Nice. Thanks for leaving us off with that, Mo.
No
That felt great.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm here all week.
All right, guys. So for the last 23 minutes, you have been listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast. I am Jabril Salam.
And I am Muhammad Hassan.
And we leave you with the greens of peace.
Assalamu
alaikum.
Goodbye, y'all. Salute. Hey, make sure you subscribe and like on YouTube, the Young and Muslim Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Said that. Peace out.